Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 105. I am your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. Whether you're looking to move here, you're brand new here, or you've been here for a while, this podcast is for you. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. We're talking about the 9 p.m. routine with Lieutenant Brenton Duran from the City of Perrysburg's Police Division today. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, July is National Vehicle Theft Prevention Month. As I publish this on July 25th, 2025, it's the right time of the year. The days are long, and we can all use the 9 p.m. routine to prevent crime. All right, without further ado, here's my interview with Lieutenant Brenton Duran. Hi, Brenton. Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. We're going to be talking about the 9 p.m. routine in just a little bit, but first, I'd like to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Brenton Duran. I've been with the Perrysburg Police Division for 18 years. My current role is a lieutenant, and I am in charge of the patrol operations. So the officers that respond to the calls and work the day shift, afternoon shift, and midnight shift, I oversee all of them.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. And are you a Perrysburg resident by any chance?
I live in Bowling Green right now with my wife and 3 kids.
Hey, that's all right. I'm glad that you help out here in Perrysburg, so it doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I started here when I was 22. So this is like a second home for me. Really grown to love the community, and it's a great community to work in and live, work and live in. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching over us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've been here since you started your law enforcement career, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
That's saying something.
Yep, I went to BGSU and then graduated when I was 22 and started with Perrysburg. Been through the Patrol Bureau. I was a detective for a very short period of time. Then I became sergeant. I've also been involved with our bicycle patrol and our field training program. Wood County has a special response team. I was on that for several years. And so I've been able to experience several different things. I've been fortunate in that regard. And like I said, now I'm lieutenant over the Patrol Bureau, which I do a lot of scheduling and training and reviews.
I know that some people listening to this may think, have I seen this guy before? So would anybody have seen you at the, Safety City in the summer, or the farmer's market? You mentioned you were on bike patrol. Have you been with the slow rollers? Tell me about your experience.
Yeah, so with bike patrol, we do get out on Halloween. You'll see us out passing out candy, and when the weather's good, we'll get out on bicycles for that. I've been to the farmer's market, the slow rollers as well. Safety Town I've helped out with a little bit, not too much. We have 3 really great SROs, student resource officers, Officer Sims, who was our Officer of the Year this year, Officer Greg Cole, and Officer Brad Dayton. And they primarily help out with Safety Town and the DARE program, but they do an excellent job at that. And you may have seen me there once or twice, but mostly on patrol was where people would see me. And
maybe the 4th of July fireworks, maybe?
Absolutely. The 4th of July fireworks is coming right up.
Yep.
That's a big event for us and for Maumee, and it takes a lot of coordination. Our whole department typically comes in and works because there's a lot of traffic control and a lot of people that come and enjoy the fireworks show. So it's a really good time for everyone.
Yes, I've been enjoying it. I've lived here since 2007, which is, I think, the year that you started.
It was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've noticed a police presence pretty much every year, including the mobile command center over at the Fort Meigs battlefield?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you see the fireworks pretty well from here? Is it?
No, sir. I have to walk on over to the battlefield.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people go there to watch the fireworks. It's a good spot. But overall, it's a fun day for us too, because we all get to come together and provide a good show for the citizens, and we enjoy it, I think, just as much as everyone else does, as long as it's not 100 degrees. And we're hoping this year the weather will be a little bit cooler, and it's going to be dry, so we won't have a rain date. It doesn't look like. We'll get them done on July 3rd, and hopefully a good time for the citizens as well.
I love the fireworks here in Perrysburg, so I'm looking forward to it as well. Well, we just talked about all these happy things: farmers market, slow rollers, fireworks, all the things. But now we have to go negative. I would like to know, what is the 9 p.m. routine and why do you recommend it?
The 9 p.m. routine is essentially trying to get people in a routine every day, a habit that when your day is over, essentially, and whether that's 8 p.m. for some people or 9 or 10 for other people, when you decide at the end of your day that you're going to come inside and relax or go to bed, that you get in the habit of making sure that your property's secure. And the best way to do that is to start by taking a look around the outside of your house, your yard. Okay, did you pick up the things that are out laying around outside? If you have kids, did they bring their bicycles inside? Sports equipment, is that picked up from the yard? Bring it inside the house or at least in the garage so that it's secure, that it's not an easy target for theft. Moving from the yard to the car, make sure that your car is locked up. A lot of people leave valuables inside their cars, whether that's wallets, purses, laptops. Some people even forget that they left their firearm inside the car, which, huge safety issue there. So lock your car, take your valuables out of your car on a daily basis. And I know it's an extra effort. It's a little bit of a chore sometimes to think, man, I need to make sure I grab everything out of my car, but it's the safest bet. If you don't want it stolen, take it out of your car. If you leave it in your car, even if you lock your car, there's the chance that somebody's going to see it in there and then smash your window and get inside and take it. We've had that happen too. So moving from the car, as you start to kind of work back towards the house, the best thing we can recommend is exterior lighting as well. That'll help deter people from snooping around your property. If you have lighting on the corners of your house, and it makes it harder for people to hide. So lighting, the garage, moving to the garage, making sure your overhead garage door is closed. A lot of people forget about that. They're in a rush. They want to get in and catch whatever's on TV or just get that routine going to get the kids to bed and all that stuff. They leave their garage door open, and garages have a lot of tools, a lot of valuables. That's just inviting somebody in. If they see your garage doors open at night, they could sneak in really easily and you wouldn't even know it. And they're gonna get whatever power tools you have, whatever sports equipment. Some people have garage fridges and they'll leave, there's alcohol in there and stuff. So kids, teenagers, might be looking around like, hey, there's a fridge. I'm gonna go see if there's any beer in there or something like that. So shut your garage door, make sure everything's locked, make sure your car's locked, make sure you have lighting on the outside of your house. And then from there, obviously before you go to bed, you want to check your windows, make sure that your windows are, if you leave your windows open, that's a personal choice and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're somebody who closes the window, make sure it's locked. There's no sense in having it closed if it's not locked. And make sure your front door is locked. If you have a house alarm, you might as well arm your alarm before you go to bed. So at least that's another layer of protection for you. That's kind of really what the 9 p.m. routine is about. It's about establishing a habit that every night you make sure that you kind of go through a small checklist. It doesn't have to be huge, but essentially picking up the stuff from the outside, bringing it in, locking everything, turning on the lights, and really protecting yourself from theft.
When you talked about arming an alarm, that reminds me that when I arm my alarm, if I haven't locked my front door, it actually automatically locks it. And I hear that sound of it locking. It kind of freaks me out a little bit because it's like, who's touching that? Oh, yeah, it's my alarm.
Technology is great that that it'll do that for you. And but that's a way to protect yourself.
But it just shows me sometimes I don't lock my own door. I have to rely on the alarm to do it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. But also look out for your neighbors too. Get to know your neighbors and let them know. If you're going to be out of town for a couple of days and you trust your neighbors, let them know, hey, I'm going to be out of town. The only car in the driveway should be, my red car or something like that. And let them know if you see any other cars that, please give me a call. And if they can't get a hold of you, give them permission to call the police and let us know that, hey, there's somebody on the property. They shouldn't be there. And vice versa, if you have somebody coming to check on your pets or that somebody's going to come and look out for your house, let the neighbors know that as well. And we also have a program that's called a vacation watch. So you can call into the police department and let us know that you're going to be on vacation from whatever date until your end date. And what we'll come and do is we'll come around and check the property and just do a walk around and make sure that there hasn't been a burglary or anything like that.
How
So
can you tell if there's been a burglary? Are you just looking for broken windows or open windows, or what are you
that's
looking for?
typically, yeah, broken windows, open windows. If you let us know like what cars or vehicles should be around, that's, we'll keep an eye out. Like if we see a different car in the driveway that you told us, you give us a list of what should be there and we see something that's not there, then we're going to stop out and check and see who that vehicle belongs to and if they should be on the property. So that's something that we can keep an eye on, 24/7. Every shift can take a look at that. And then, like I said, we'll check the windows and the doors, make sure things are locked up, and people leave us a contact number to get a hold of them if there is an emergency, so we can call and say, hey, this is what we found. And the only other thing I guess I didn't mention was surveillance cameras. If a lot of people now are have a Ring doorbell, or they'll have different cameras on the outside of their house, and that's beneficial too. It's a deterrent, and also it'll help capture somebody who is snooping around, and give us at least a lead, if nothing else, to look into.
I have seen many a doorbell camera photo shared on, I think it's the Nextdoor app.
Okay.
People say, oh, this nefarious person has been, in my neighborhood, and they
Mhm.
claim that they're selling this product. And
Right.
yeah, neighbors talk, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of goes to another topic, is soliciting. In the city, when people want to go door to door and sell things, they have to register with the city first. So they have to come up to the police division, provide a driver's license and the company that they're working for. And that way we have it on file. And it helps out so that if a neighbor does call, or a resident calls and says, hey, there's this company out here, the guy out here, and he's trying to sell me XYZ, we can look and see, has he registered with the city first? Is he somebody that we're aware of, or does he need to come down and register with us first so that we're aware of his presence in the city? And also there's certain hours. I believe it's 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if somebody comes and knocks on your door at like 7:30 in the morning, there's a city ordinance. They shouldn't be doing that. So
7:30 is pretty early. I
that
would
it,
think that's suspicious.
that's early. And plus, after 7 p.m., people want to have some peace and quiet too, and not be bothered, so.
If somebody is concerned that a door-to-door salesperson is not on the up and up,
Mhm.
how do they contact you? Is that a 911 situation, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, good question. Typically, that would not be a 911 situation. We have a non-emergency line. It's 419-872-8001. That number is the non-emergency number, and unless you have an emergency, call that number. Call the non-emergency. We'll send an officer out. Our typical response time is within 5 minutes a lot of times, and we'll come out and check on the situation. But yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of us in that situation.
Good to know. I think the Way Public Library gave me a little thing for my refrigerator, a refrigerator magnet, and
Yes.
I think the non-emergency number is on that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that handy, because
Mhm.
or save it in your phone that way too.
That's a great idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. Going back to the vacation program that you
Hmm.
have, what is the phone number that someone would call to sign up for that vacation program?
So that would be the same non-emergency number. And when you call in, you'll talk to a dispatcher, and you will tell them your name, your phone number, address, of course, and then the dates that you're going to be out of town. And again, any vehicles that might be around. If you have a neighbor that's going to come over and check on it on your property, give us that name too. That way we're familiar with who's going to be around. But same phone number to call, and a pretty short and painless process of just giving us the basic information of when you're going to be gone, and what to look for.
Okay. Thank you for talking about that. And while we're on the topic of this phone number, what
Mhm.
if somebody does break into my house, or, somebody
Mhm.
listening to this experiences a break-in?
Mhm.
Is that a 911, or is that more of the non-emergency number?
That depends, and it depends if it's active. If you are home and you hear an intruder in your house, that is certainly an emergency. So don't hesitate whatsoever to call 911. If you come home from work and you find out that your house has been burglarized, it's not wrong to call 911, because you're not sure, maybe somebody's still in the house. You really don't know, right? So it wouldn't be wrong to call 911 in that situation. But if you're certain that there's no emergency present at that time, then just call the non-emergency number, and we'll still respond. We have what's called a code 3 response, and that is essentially lights and sirens. So if you call and you believe that there is an intruder in your house and still actively there, then you'll get what's called a code 3 response. So lights and sirens, and we're going to be there immediately and we'll get there just a little bit quicker than the non-emergency response.
That's good to review that information because when somebody is under duress, they are freaking out
Mm-hmm.
because they have noticed a broken window and you don't know what's happening.
Right.
I think they need to know, like, is it okay to call 911? A lot of people, the vast majority of people have never called 911.
Right. And that's the first number that's going to come to mind a lot of times. So we understand that. And it's not an absolute, you don't have to know 100% for certain that somebody's in your house or not in your house. It's just, if that's the number people call, especially for a burglary type situation, we understand that. Yeah. But if it's for a solicitor, then those are situations where you're best just to call the non-emergency number.
Right. But then, okay, different situation. Maybe first thing in the morning, I walk outside. I notice that my car window is smashed.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, there's nobody in the car. It's light out at 5 a.m. I can see nobody's in there.
Yeah.
That's the non-emergency number, right?
Exactly. That's that situation has already passed in the sense that the suspect is no longer there. So the emergency part is no longer, there. So, but no, we'll still come out within typically, again, like 5 minutes is usually a pretty good response time. And we'll come out and take a report and gather your information and see if we can, find video surveillance from neighbors and whatnot and try to put together an investigation that would lead us back to who did it. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. You've covered all of my scenarios. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to throw in a fun scenario just for the heck of it, because there's a lot of families who have a now senior in high school, and they may or may not get repeatedly toilet papered.
Okay.
Does anybody need to call the police for that?
That's interesting because some people do and some people don't. We do, we get those calls once in a while. The toilet papering can sometimes kind of spiral into, they're putting like ketchup or something on a car, or, doing, sticking like forks or knives in the grass. Like, so those things can kind of take on their own little life in terms of that. Toilet papering, I guess we don't get too many calls for that, but we will, when the midnight shift is driving around at night, if they see that, they'll note it and we'll make a quick call and just the documentation essentially so that it's noted. We're not going to wake somebody up in the middle of the night if it's just toilet paper, because there's not essentially a lot we can do at that point either. But if there is damage, if we find like somebody damaged your car or your property, then there's a good chance somebody's going to be knocking on your door at 3 a.m. to say, hey, we found this. Can you come out and take a look at it and let us know what you think? Is there any permanent damage? Do you have any suspects have you been having any problems with anybody, or is it like the senior prank or that type of thing?
Right. Do you want people to report this to you? We
do. It's good to document, what's happening, where it's happening, especially if things escalate too. And at that point, it becomes a little bit more serious in terms of if there's property damage. So we do want to know about those things. If it's just toilet papering, you don't have to call. You don't have to let us know, which, you can handle that however you choose.
Thank you. And I'm going to go one step deeper. Have you ever caught someone toilet papering or forking or whatever somebody else's property?
Yeah, it's happened. And what we typically do is contact their parents, because a lot of times the parents don't know that their kids are out at 4 a.m, or they might not know who they're with exactly. So we'll call their parents and have their parents come pick them up, and then also ask them to clean up the property, the property that they damaged to the best extent that they can. They won't be able to reach everything in the trees, but to clean up what they can. And if we go that route, we're going to knock on your door too and let you know, hey, there's kids out in your neighborhood and we caught them, and here's what happened. Here's whether or not there's any damage or not. But yeah, we want parents to be aware of where their kids are at. That's a big thing, right? You don't want Perrysburg doesn't have a curfew. And so kids can go out and about at night, but your parents should know where you're at, and safety is a big concern. So to make sure that kids are being safe, that the parents know who they're with, what they're doing, what time they should be home at, and all that stuff is important. And I think parents have been really receptive when we give them a call in the middle of the night to say, hey, please come get your kid. He's out and he's doing some, pranks essentially. Right.
Right. Good looking out. Thank you for sharing your experience with me. Mm-hmm. I know that I, once upon a time, had a senior in high school whose friends would come over and repeatedly toilet paper my house. I never reported it, but I think that you have now given my audience a template for what to follow.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could do that. And Yeah, everybody handles it slightly differently, and there's no wrong answer, but it helps if the damage and the pranks, if they escalate, it's good to know, kind of keep track of where they're happening at, so we can direct our patrol efforts that way too. If people don't report it, sometimes we don't know what's going on, and if it starts to escalate, it's good to keep an eye on those things so that people's properties aren't damaged, and cars, homes, that type of thing.
I come from the medical world, and we have this saying, not documented means it didn't happen. Do you guys have that saying in law enforcement?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, if it's not documented, yeah, it didn't happen.
Right.
At least there's no record of it. There's no public record of it, and you know, if we don't know about it, it's hard to address a problem or potential problem. And we try to address things when they're still small problems versus becoming larger problems.
Thanks for going down the rabbit hole with me about toilet papering after we were talking about the 9 p.m. routine. Is there anything you didn't get to say about the 9 p.m. routine before we wrap this up?
I think we covered it all. It's just about taking your valuables inside, locking your cars, locking your doors at home, setting your alarms, just those major things. To keep those things in mind, get in a routine of protecting your valuables by bringing them inside and locking up. It's the best way to safeguard yourself and your property.
And if something goes south, call that non-emergency number or 911, right?
Exactly. Yep. We're here to help 24/7, and we'll be out to take a report and assist you however we can.
Thank you for all you do, and thanks for being here on the Perrysburg podcast.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks again to Lieutenant Brenton Duran for being my guest on episode 105 of the Perrysburg podcast. Now we all know what the 9 p.m. routine is, right? It's a habit that prevents crime. Every night at 9 p.m., take your valuables out of your car, bring them inside your home, lock your car, lock your home, close your garage door if you have one, lock your windows, arm your security system, and leave an outside light on. Crime prevention doesn't have to be complicated, you just need a routine, so use the 9 p.m. routine. I also liked the tips about the Vacation Watch program and how to report emergency versus non-emergency incidents. As a reminder, if you live in the city of Perrysburg, program the City of Perrysburg Police Division's non-emergency phone number into your phone today. The number is 419-872-8001. Again, that's the non-emergency phone line for the City of Perrysburg Police Division. In the show notes today, I will have that non-emergency phone number and a link to the City of Perrysburg Police Division's Facebook page. If you would like to be notified by email each time a new episode of this podcast comes out, sign up for the Perrysburg Podcast's newsletter on perrysburgpodcast.com. You can also subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Go ahead and share this episode with your friends and neighbors. Be safe out there. Thanks for listening today. Have a safe summer. I'll talk to you next week.